Guten Tag. Welcome back to Make and Break, or whatever the heck we call these things at this point. It's me, Isred. Hello. I tweaked my audio settings a little bit. I did a couple of little behind the scenes things that shouldn't be too noticeable, but hopefully things seem a little bit better now. Always working towards, just making things good. But hello. We're here today with a little scene. Making ourselves a little bit of a floor master, a wall master, a ghost hand, whatever you want to call this thing. I'm going to throw on some music, and then we're just going to get talking. No need to really mince words about it. How's everybody doing today? Let's go ahead and get that going. We got Joe, we got CQDK. We're hanging out. Okay. Cool. Okay, Joe, and we got Simo. Oh, Simo. Oh, I love that fish. The more I look at that fish, the more I like it. Okay, so before stream started, everybody has now gotten into the habit of chanting Pogtato in chat, which is an unfortunate series of events that has transpired, but, I can live with it. So, I got an idea. I think Pogtato could be funny. It's a little silly. It could be very funny. I think that should be our next emote. I think the next emote should be a Pogtato. So, I gotta unlock that emote slot. And when I unlock that emote slot, Red is starting to crack. I've always been, subject to peer pressure with you guys. So, yeah, next time we unlock an emote, I think we should, make the Pogtato. I'll do a whole stream of it. I'll make like the most photorealistic high poly. I won't do any poly counts. Like, I'm gonna render this thing for 2 hours, right? We're gonna make the craziest looking thing you've ever seen. But my ask, since I want to have like an agreement here, is any and all effort to get us to that second emote slot would be very appreciated. Because not to be a little behind the scenes here. I'm just kind of looking at some stats, and we took a little bit of a lull last week. So any help I can get and then make a Pogtato, let's go. Then it'll have to fit into a 310 pixel area. Oh no, I got composition's my big thing. I can do composition, no problem. So cool, let's get to it. So we're gonna make ourselves a little bit of a hand here. Can I get a hand? So I'm gonna do a different process than I normally do. This could backfire pretty badly, but I'm just kind of feeling it. Here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and make ourselves a little guy, a little dude coming out here, and I'm gonna go ahead and do some extrusions to make the actual hand shape. We're going to go and low poly this. We're going to subdivide this. We're going to get something that we're like relatively happy with. And then after all of that, I'm going to go ahead and do sculpting. So we're going to give this thing like a million passes for seemingly no reason. With that, that is everything that is currently on my mind. How's everybody else doing? Joe, I saw that you were close to finalizing your house in your chat. What happened? CQDK, you're back. You missed the announcement. If we can get help unlocking the second emote slot, I'll do a full stream for Pog Potato. But I think we should wait until then to do it, because I think it'll be a little bit more fun for us. Okay, so this should be good. When I make a hand... House is all finalized. I'm moving on Saturday. Yo! So when are we getting a house tour? Streaming on Friday is going to be interesting. Why is that? You're going to pack all of your stuff except for your computer and just kind of sit on it? Okay, so what I want to do is really get the wrist right. The wrist is going to be tough. How to help? That's a good question. I don't exactly know how to help. I mean, all I really ask of you guys, the community, you guys are the, the regulars of my community. It sounds weird to say it, but, it is what it is. All I really ask of you guys is treat people well. When people come in and people come to hang out, treat them well. Other than that, I don't really got much else to make people do. If you see any opportunities or whatever, feel free, but otherwise, just, treat people well. You fool. All my stuff other than my computer is already packed. Emote slots are unlocked by getting a set number of concurrent subs. We get more people here who like to be here. They will sub and they will get Pogtato. So I've been thinking a lot about Twitch. I started off Twitch, for the sake of learning Blender. And subsequently, Twitch has become a place for me to learn a bunch of stuff, which is awesome. I love Twitch. I love doing this so much. This makes me feel so, motivated. I've said that before in the past, but I really mean it. Like, coming here and doing streams is a big reason I get out of bed, as bad as that sounds. It's nice. It's nice to, have something that I can call my own, and you guys are here, and it's fun, and it's chill. And it's just really rewarding to just do this, even to, a small audience or whatever. I'm not obsessed with being big or anything like that. But the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I worry about how sustainable it is or what happens if I have to seek financial stuff elsewhere. So in no way am I trying to, make it big on Twitch. I've just been thinking a lot about, how to get more traffic here. So I've been thinking about doing some YouTube stuff. Obviously, this recording is going on YouTube, but these are just VODs. They're not edited or anything, so it's not exactly, a big audience for that. But I've just been thinking about, how to grow, how to try and take this a little bit more seriously, how to treat this like a job. You're good. I'm not expecting money from anybody. Don't you worry. The number one thing I can say is just be good to people, right? Just be nice to people who show up and treat people well and, let's make this a nice community. That's all there really is to it. Okay, so I'm making something very disturbing at this point. Exactly. The wisdom that pretty much everybody has for how to make it on Twitch is do not think about subs ever until you're big. I mean, if you're like Ludwig or somebody, sure, care about subs. But most people, including pretty big streamers, don't make money off of subs. They make money off of followers who feel inclined to subscribe. So, I'm more obsessed with followers. That's why we have a follower count and not a sub count. But anyway, that's enough of that professional junk. I will say I think the number one thing for us, though, is let's work towards that next emote slot. And that'll be big. That'll probably be the most interesting thing we got. Who's Ludwig? CQDK, this is how I know you're pure. Ludwig is a huge streamer. He recently did a subathon, which is an event where every time somebody subscribes to him, he increases the amount of time that he is streaming for. And I think he ended up streaming for 3 weeks or something like that straight. He would just sleep on stream, wake up on stream, order food on stream, eat on stream, play games, talk. I'm assuming he showered. I don't know how that part works, but yeah, he was basically on stream for 3 weeks straight because people wouldn't stop subscribing to him. Every time somebody subscribed, I think it increased the duration by 2 minutes, which if we want to do some quick little math, that's 30 times 4, $120 per hour. I mean, that's a lot of money for 3 weeks straight. That's not good for his health. I don't know if that was a consideration of his. Just to put that out there. It was cool, though. I have my opinions of Ludwig. I think he's an interesting guy. I liked him less... I liked him a lot less previously than I do now. He's been doing some, like, talk about how to make it on Twitch, and he's been, like, providing a lot for people who, like, want to analyze Twitch and stuff like that. And I think in that way, he's very cool. He's doing some cool work. Okay, so I want Knuckles. I want to do something like that, I think. And then we're going to grab... I don't love that little crease right there, so let's fix this real quick. I'm going to merge at last, and we're going to call it right there. I'm not sure if he's a poor guy. I think he did what he wanted to do, and I think it went well for him. I don't think he's too beat up about the whole situation. He seems like somebody who sort of lives for Twitch, which is awesome. Like, if you're going to be a streamer, that's what you got to do, right? You got to care about the platform. But yeah, I think he's somebody who just kind of lives for Twitch. Okay, so that is not the worst looking hand I've ever seen. I suppose I should probably just T-pose this thing, right? Have I made a big mistake? You know what? I can get it to T-pose from here. That's fine. We'll get there. Actually, I don't need to T-pose it because the animation's never going to hit T-pose. We're good. Should I be T-posing my stuff in the future? Probably, but this one will do. Okay, so we got a hand. Now we got to make it articulate. We got to make it really interesting. You said you had an idea for me? That was the idea. Let's focus on growing this channel as best as we can, whatever that requires of anybody. You know, I've no expectation, but just to keep in the back of your mind, let's focus on growing the channel, and then you know, we'll have a Pogtato and we'll have all this other stuff. I think that'll be an easy way to sort of have an everybody wins situation. I think there's got to be a crunch right here. Yep, that looks great. That's the one. So all of this is just preliminary while I get into sculpting later. I just want it to feel sort of like the dude reaching out of the toilet in Majora's Mask. Yeah, so that being said, I think I should refund you for the Pogtato that you just suggested. So if you come up with another suggestion, just let me know during the stream, and we'll do that instead. Let's save the Pogtato for the future. I have a pretty good idea of how I can make it too. I think we can do it like pretty nice. It'll be one of those things that you just kind of see people post in other people's chats. Okay, so it's not as round as I want it to be, but otherwise it does look pretty good. It's a big hand from Bindi in the Ink Machine. You could add it to better Twitch TV channel emotes. No, I'd rather it be a goal. I'd rather we work towards it. All right, Joe, let's hear it. Joe's got an idea. We're going to have a patented Joe idea. Do you know what Bindi and the Ink Machine is? Yes. To some degree. I don't totally understand it. I know they made a horror game out of it. I'm assuming it's an older franchise. It looks like an old, like, Mickey Mouse cartoon. But I'm assuming maybe it was like Cuphead where they made it recently and it's not actually, like, from antiquity. It's hard to tell. It looks very Betty Boop to me, though. I am aware of it, though. I've been on the internet. Surprise, surprise. Okay, let's go ahead. It is recent. It's stylized. Okay, got it. I mean, I didn't know if it was just like a reimagining. That's like all the rage nowadays. This guy's got weird fingers. I hate thumbs. I gotta put it out there. I hate thumbs. Thumbs are super frustrating. Like, we're doing our best, but man, is this awful. Also, we are not allowed to do this for some reason. We'll just do it like that. That's fine. I just realized that I messed up the playlist. Let me fix that real quick. And we're back. That was maybe the quickest fix I've ever done to something in my life, but sure, we'll take it. What's so special about bending in the ink machine, Joe? What do you got about it? Is it a big favorite of yours? Like, why is it surprising that I know about it? It's the part where you were on some kind of boat and this big ink hand is hunting you, and that's how I remember it. Yeah, CQDK, it doesn't surprise me at all that you're a fan of that. Just surprised you didn't seem familiar with it. I'm relatively familiar with it. I spend a lot of time on the internet, honestly, just like looking at things and just being like, oh, that's kind of cool. But, like, what I actually spend my time with is kind of limited. I'm pretty picky with what I choose to spend my time with. Surprise, surprise to absolutely nobody. But that's the truth of the situation. Also, looking at this, I think this is going to do it. Yep, and we gotta raise these guys up. And then I think we might be decently well to apply. I mean, that is a pretty good hand. We gotta go ahead and make it a little bit more strange. Let's do that. Here, okay, new idea, new idea. We want to lower this and rotate them slightly. Give it that little weird flick that a pinky is probably known for. There we go. That looks so good. Yo. Color me into it. Ink. Now, when you say ink, I'm asking what that means. Is that your suggestion, or are you just saying ink for the sake of the conversation? Because I think ink might actually be a kind of an interesting thing to try and make in Blender. I'm not totally sure how I would do that. Okay, that actually looks pretty solid. This part, bad. This part, really bad. I'm sort of debating if we need to, like, fix up this hand part. You know what? We need to change our method here. The word chapter? Okay, do you mean in Dutch or do you mean in English? Because that's crucial information. Oh, I went on the wrong axis. Okay, so we're here. We're big. We get our hand, and we're going to place him 90 degrees. It's not actually going to be 90 degrees in the end, but we're doing this just to kind of see what we're working with. That looks so good. Yo, color me into it. English. That makes sense. English not being your first language, of course you would learn a word like that. No worries at all. Okay, so we need to fix you. Just like that. This actually does look so cartoony. I love the way this looks. I actually just did my German/Dutch homework. Okay, how'd it go? Are you a master? I'm thinking the thumb is so far out that it's almost like disgusting. But I sort of like that. I think that's like a cool little thing. I think it looks good. Pretty fast. English was definitely like my worst subject growing up. Every time it came to like writing or, you know, interpretation or anything, I just didn't like it. I didn't like memorizing grammatic rules, and that stands true today. I got an English degree, you know, despite all of that, but I'm like very vehement about my use of the English language. For example, I feel very strongly, here I will type it, I think through should be spelled like that, like a drive-through. There's no reason that words need to be longer than they actually like are pronounced. It's very silly. It serves like literally no purpose at all. And I'm just very adamant about that. Okay, so I think we're good. I think I'm good on this hand. I'm gonna go ahead and one more thing. We're gonna go ahead and grab these guys and make them more squared off. Through is a noble word and deserves respect. I don't think anything deserves respect. You gotta earn that respect from me. Especially you, Joe. That is pretty good looking. You know, if you learn how to spell it my way, that's okay with me. Joe, once again, Joe wants to fight me. Joe, I can't wait to meet you in person. It's on. First moment I see you, it's on. I'm not even gonna hold back. We're gonna be at like an anime convention. I'm gonna glomp you. That's all there is to it. We're gonna go ahead and pull this back just a little bit. I'll crumble down like a little... Of course. Joe, I think you got fight in you. I need to be good at English that time I start having my exams. I mean, I throw out some pretty weird words, so the stream's probably not one of the worst ways to learn a little bit of English. I wouldn't get an English degree based off of this stream, but I think you're pretty good on English if you watch the stream. Like I've said before, your English seems pretty good to me. Like, okay. I'm not going to win any awards for this. This is not the best hand I've ever seen or anything like that. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. I ain't upset about that. Also, is my volume better? How's the volume sounding for you guys? I see my mic, like, clipping. My mic is actually clipping on the mixer. So if you tell me I'm quiet, something's wrong with Streamlabs. Because it is in the red while I speak. Now, fine. Does fine mean the same as normal, or does fine mean better than normal? You can hear me, so it's fine? No, but I want to know, like, relatives. Right? I want to work towards something, you know? Okay, so this is going to be a real challenge. We're going to have to sit and make this hand like that. I probably should have fixed up that little arc there. My father's name is Bruce. His name is John. Hello? The heck does that mean? Okay, I don't know what's happening in chat anymore. I give up. Wow. Joe out here with the jokes. How dare you. I hope that's the real name of your family, too. If you're going to devote to that joke, you got to devote to that joke. You'll never know? You don't know that. I might know. Maybe I already do know. Okay, so we want to get the webbing between the fingers good. I think that's going to be a big part of this. Let's up that strength just a little bit and get that webbing real nice. Okay, so we're gonna make the best hand you've ever seen. Guaranteed. I'm gonna do my best to make this, like, just work. And then I'm gonna think about retopologing this thing later. Like, retopo's not gonna exist on this stream as far as I'm concerned. I'm gonna think about it. How to spell werewolf. You got it right. You did it right first try. Okay, so that didn't work at all. Why not? There we go. This works. So we want them to be a little bit less spiky than that, but otherwise that looks pretty good. No! How am I going to web these guys? Just do the topo right the first time so you don't have to worry about the retopo. That's normally what I do, Simo. I'm not going to do that today. Today's not the day for that. Let's see here. I really just want... I might do like a flatten. A flatten might do this. Okay, so we definitely don't want that. We want... Oh, there we go. There we go. Nope. Too much. Oh, goodness. This is going to be... Okay. Okay. I can live with this. And then we're going to just do a quick little solve on this guy. Oh, gosh. It looks bad. Okay, you know what? These are ghost hands. They don't need webbing. This is what I'm going to live with myself. This is what I'm going to tell myself. That's it. They just don't need webbing. Who cares? Problem solved. Okay, let's give them little knuckles. I'm going to destroy this mesh. You know what I should do? I should save a copy before we get too into this. I'm glad I have done all my homework. As you should be. So we're going to call this hand backup. I'm going to copy and paste it. We're going to hide that one, and we're going to call this hand. And now we're going for it. Okay, so now it's nice and purple. It's going to be a little closer to our colors that we want anyway, so let's do that. And let's get it going. Hey, Joe, what's the goal with the 3D modeling? Without revealing too much, you know, that you don't want to reveal. What are you working on? What are you doing? Murder. Trying to do a fan project? That's fair. Is it the same fan project that you were telling me about? You know what? This could use... Yes. Okay. Now I gotta ask, why cats and why pillars and what is all that stuff? Is that related or is that just random sort of learning stuff? Learn the program? Got it. Do you have a style in mind? Are you trying to are you trying to develop a certain kind of style or what's the goal there? Okay, that is kind of horrifying, but I think I'm actually onto something. I think I might want to make more of a grotesque-looking hand. I can't wait till Joe makes, like, the next big game. Can't wait till Joe makes the next Stardew Valley. 3D Stardew Valley. Cow Sim. Cow Sim 2025. I'm drawing the steampunk spaceship. I still don't know what I'm doing or what to do. When I think steampunk, I think you want to have a clear separation between squares and circles. Like think gears, right? Gears are circles with really hard squares on them. Add unnecessary pipes. No, you do that at the end. So you do squares and circles. You block it out, right? Very hard surfacing. And then at the end, you add just a bunch of junk. Just a bunch of junk to it. And that's steampunk. Okay, so let's get in here and start making what I believe to be the correct shape. Looks like a bird, but together with a fish. That sounds steampunk to me. That sounds a lot like steampunk. Okay. I gotta say, I'm kind of not hating these fingers. Again, somebody who's good at anatomy would hate this, right? They'd be like, what are you doing? But for me, as a big dummy, this feels good. This feels about right. Like, that is not a hand I want coming at me, right? That looks good. Okay, and we're just going to do a little puffing up on that side. Get this guy feeling bigger. That's too big. That's a balloon. You dummy? Ha, no? What the heck are you guys talking about? Sometimes you guys just say things and it's like, where did that come from? I mean, come on now. Come on now. You called yourself a dummy? Oh, you know, I always call myself a dummy. That's just life, man. This is it. Did I just learn how to do hands? Did I just learn how to do hands all of a sudden? Joe, don't be weird. Not the time or the place for that. Dummies are also dolls. But when people call themselves dummies, I think that's sort of the idea. That is so good looking. Like, hello? Am I the guy? Am I the guy who made the hand? Sure am. Sure am. Hey. It's literally me in the picture. What are you talking about? Also, I hear like a crazy amount of wind outside my window, so I don't know what's going on there. That is horrific looking. I don't know what happened here. Let's fix that up. And now the way thumbs work is they go like this. I believe. They connect almost like square onto the hand. So if I go like this, and then I grab this guy and square him down, and we'll do like a little edge crease. Oh, that's too much. That looks too weird. That looks way too weird. Okay. It looks still a little bit weird, but I don't hate it. I'm going to come all the way down and just grab that and then round these guys out. And say, does that? That looks so good! If you've never told me, I wouldn't have known you're a native, you weren't a native English speaker. Yeah, I've been saying that for a while now. You're good. Like, your English is pretty solid. I'm waiting for the day for you to be like, psych. I'm actually like a 30-year-old dude from Philadelphia. What up? Yo. Like, thank you. Thank you for witnessing this thing that is currently happening. Okay, so I'm going to go off my own hand now a little bit because it's a little bit monstrous, and I don't think it needs to be as monstrous as it is. So I'm going to come in here just a little bit and fix up a few of these curves. We're just watching our curves on our hand. I'm not paying attention to chat as much as I probably should, but that's okay. We have this ridge here that looks super good. And then we're going to do one up. You can speak Danish all you want, and I'll try and pronounce it, but it's not going to end well. Joe, I appreciate the praise. I think this hand is pretty good looking. You know, people say that you can't be an environmental artist and you can't be a character artist. And the joke's on them, because I'm neither. I'm just bad. As much as I can try, I'm attempting to be everything. Obviously, that's going to end in tears, and it's going to be the worst thing you've ever seen. But I'm making a pretty good show of it. Like I said, I've said it 1,000 times. I would rather, like, know everything and be bad at everything, and then eventually hire somebody to be better than me. I would rather get in contact with people who care more than me and pay them to do it. Okay. Det der ein Smukhund, den skulle Nostan have ein ring passa, det sa mir trist ud. How good was that? How good was that? 1 to 10. 1 to 10. How quickly would I be kicked out of the country? Okay, so I've made a little grotesque thing that reminds me very much of World of Warcraft. You're dying? It must have been perfect then. I've made this hand look like ciabatta bread. Which is cool with me. I love ciabatta bread. So we got a little ciabatta bread hand. It looks so much like Left 4 Dead. Like a 4%. I love that. I'm going to hang that on my wall. I'm going to print that comment out and hang it on my wall. Okay. Hello? Are we looking at this mesh right now? This is it. You would have only understood the word hand. I'm assuming hand is hand. I'm assuming you wrote something about this hand. Yeah, I can read a little bit better than I can speak. I'll put that out there. All right, so I have given up on making this thing look photo real. We're now gonna go for the scary zombie hand look. Yeah. Okay, so I guess I didn't explain what I'm doing here. Let's give a little bit of an explanation. This hand is going to be coming out of a wall. This is a ghost hand. This is not real. That looks bad. I don't want that one. So I just want it to look, like, interesting. It doesn't have to look real. I just really want, like, articulation and for people to be kind of creeped out by this. So I guess I can tell you guys about this dream that I had, if you would like to hear it. The dream in which I had about this hand, which is, you know, the basis for the game that I'm working on, is mostly a dream journal. I'm taking some creative liberties on my own dreams. They're my own dreams. I can do whatever I want with them. But this hand specifically, I had a dream that I went to school, like a high school, in like a wasteland. I went to school in like a, I don't want to call it a desert, like a barren, like a Badlands. You know, everyone knows what I'm talking about. Anyway, so I had this crazy dream, and what it was is me and my best friend, who looked exactly like Madoka Magica. If you don't know Madoka, have fun with that one. I had a best friend who looked like Madoka Magica, and she and I had a fight. I don't remember what the fight was about. It didn't matter. The dream was not about that. And like, we ended up not talking to each other for the day. And because of that, I almost missed the bus home. And since we lived out in the Barrens, you had to take a bus home, right? The school's in the middle of nowhere. You can't walk home. It's a desert, right? It's like scary. There's like giant scorpions and, you know, nuclear fallout essentially everywhere. That finger, that finger's crazy. Okay, we'll keep that. I kind of like it. It's a little silly. I'm gonna have to do some like fixing of subdivision here in just a little bit, but that's fine. So I almost missed the bus home, and what it is she's like on the bus, and I guess she was supposed to tell me that the bus was leaving or something. I don't know. That part doesn't make any sense to me. But the bus is leaving, and they close their doors, and the steam, they like do the horn, like a train horn leaving the station, and they're going. And I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna be left at school. And like, if I'm left at school, that's gonna be really bad. Like, that's the worst thing that could happen in this theoretical world. So I run after the bus, and I manage to jump onto the back of it, like the carriage. But the back door is locked, and either nobody is like there to let me in, or nobody wants to let me in. I don't exactly remember why. But basically, I can't get inside. So I can't get into the bus, and I'm just clinging onto the back of it, and so I just decide to like grab both of the bars that hold like the back of the carriage, and I'm just like, okay, I'll just stay here. Like, I'll just stand here until, you know, we reach the bus stop, and then I'll just jump off the back, and, you know, we're done. I'm good. I'm home. So the bus goes down the desert, and I'm looking out at the desert, and there's like all sorts of stuff in there. And eventually, we go through a tunnel. And while we're in the tunnel, you know, there's the light that's passing because I'm looking backwards. The light goes away. And eventually I'm staring at the darkness. And it's just like pitch black. And all that happens is a bunch of these hands start coming out and grabbing at me. And because the momentum of the train, or my brain not letting them touch me or whatever, they never quite get to me. Like, they can't keep up with the train that's going. So they're just like grabbing out at me, and I'm staring at them, and they like put me into a trance because I'm like freaking out. I'm like scared. And eventually, eventually I'm like standing there looking at these little hands, and I go like, oh, what the heck's going on? And I turn around, and I'm not on the train anymore. I'm standing on the edge of the other side of the tunnel. So I'm just staring at these hands in a tunnel reaching out for me, and I can leave whenever I want. So I just started walking down the rest of the train tracks. And yeah, so there's more to the dream than that, but that's the part that this hand belongs to. So the way that it's going to render in-game is I'm going to have a tunnel. It's going to be this guy. There's going to be a tunnel, and there's going to be a bunch of hands reaching out, and you're just going to go up to the end of the tunnel. You're not going to ride the train or anything like that. And goodness me, does that look disgusting or what? It does look like ciabatta bread. Now, I think it's in my best interest to come in here and fix this up just a little bit. So let's just do a little bit of this. We're just going to de-rough this just a little bit. It's a little too bumpy scary for me. So you can expect many weird stories like that, many weird things like that in the finished version of this game. I've been doing a lot of analysis on the game, just trying to like take it as seriously as I can and treat it like a professional project. And I'm getting pretty close to having all of the assets and like layout, level design stuff done. There's some special programming stuff that I don't exactly know how to do yet. But other than that, we're getting pretty close to being done with this thing. That doesn't mean that I'm going to announce a date that it's going to be done or anything like that. I have no clue. But, like, it's coming together faster than I thought it would. Let's put it that way. Okay, so I'm going to round out just a little bit of these muscles. We're going to make it look a little less grotesque. That should probably sell the illusion a little bit better. CQTK, I am not surprised that you have wild dreams, honestly. The stuff you come up with is very wildly creative. Also, these fingers being like that. Beryl, what's up? How are your eyes coming along? I was thinking about what I was saying yesterday about how the eyes could use more color or something. You could add a little bit of green to them to add context for the brown. You'll be done with the whole thing tomorrow? Yo. That's insane. Okay, there we go. Oh, you'll be done with the eyes tomorrow. Okay. I didn't realize that you were doing all of your texture painting in Blender. That's kind of nuts. I'm starting to think the fingers are too small. Oh, this is difficult to think about. Oh gosh. You know what? I'm okay with them being small. We're gonna go for it. We made something, we're gonna stick with it. The only thing that I think really needs to be fixed is this guy needs to be pressed in a little bit. You would do a good portion of it in Krita. That's perfect. That's what I do. Krita is so nice, except big asterisk. For me, it always crashes. It doesn't always crash, but it mostly always crashes when I'm doing text. And it's like, why are you crashing during text? Like, I get it, it's a vector and vectors are complicated. Like, I get that, right? But like, I deal with vector graphics all the time and Krita doesn't have a problem. Okay, so have I thoroughly mangled this hand? We had a pretty nice looking hand earlier and I made it way worse. Yeah, certainly. That's like my way of things. What's good for everybody here to know is that I'll have a second chance at making a good arm tomorrow. Because we're going to be making a little character tomorrow. So if this one's grotesque, tomorrow I don't really want it to be grotesque. Make the thumb fatter. You got it. I can do that. That looks pretty cool. When you used Krita, you were upset with how buggy it was. That's not been my experience, but I can understand where that would come from. Okay, so we want to go ahead and just fix up that guy right there. It definitely looks like a tank from Left 4 Dead. Like, for sure this has got some Left 4 Dead stuff to it. He's so scary. Linux Master Race? You know, I'm not surprised you're on Linux, honestly. That didn't surprise me one bit. I think you've said that in the past, so maybe I have like a pre-existing like bias towards it, but it really does make sense. You got big Linux energy. Does Krita not crash on Linux? Is that what you're saying? All right, so we're getting to the end of probably where I'm going to worry about making this guy. And now I'm going to start focusing on making the armature, which is going to be pretty bad for me. But we'll get there. I kind of have a feeling this thing's going to clip quite a bit, which you'll see when I do the shading whether clipping is going to matter or not. But we'll get there. That's it. That's it. He needs a knuckle right here. He needs a knuckle just right there. Krita on Windows is basically a bad port from Linux. Got it. I have only ever crashed when pushing or when pushed my entire system. I mean, I definitely like Linux. If it weren't for like more creative stuff that I'm forced to do, I probably would be a Linux guy. But the convenience of Windows is hard to betray. I would love for eventually that to not be the case, because like I don't think Microsoft needs to have like, I mean both Apple and Microsoft I don't think need to have as much of a control as they do. But I'm certainly not the one who's gonna be able to challenge that. Like if I had my wish, right? If I become as rich and famous and powerful as I want to be, you know, as a selfish human being who cares about stuff or whatever, I still wouldn't even be close enough to have the power to like influence Microsoft. So like it's sort of who cares at a certain point for me. It's a shame. I wish I didn't feel that way. It's so impossible to like wrap your brain around companies like that. They're just too big, too scary. You're looking at like what's happening to Intel right now, and it's like how absolutely surprising that this happened. It seemed impossible that this could happen, but you know, it's rare. It's so rare in the industry. I don't know what to say. What does a random word mean? Give a random word. All right, what's everyone's favorite word? If Affinity were to port their software to Linux and Apex worked on it, I would switch in a heartbeat. You really like Apex. Oh, that's surprising, Simo. What about Apex does it for you? Do you have friends that you play with, or do you play by yourself? Apex is a game that I started and I was kind of like, I get it. Just ain't for me. Okay. Hand. Done. I solo, even though I hate randoms. Hey, whatever. Okay, we got a hand. We're here. Let's do this. For anybody who doesn't normally come here and doesn't normally know what I'm up to, I don't understand armatures, and what you're about to experience is bad. Just putting that out there. This is not going to go well, and I'm aware of it. Okay, so let's go ahead and pop on... I don't even remember how to do armatures. How do I get to armatures? Oh, we have to make it. That's right. It's an object. There it is. Okay, here we go. This is going to go so bad. So, let's start doing this thing. We want edit mode. Okay. Let's put on a little bit of a clear coat. You like the movement and stuff? That's fair. I mean, that's pretty much exactly how I feel about TF2. Okay. Now, every time I get stuck in a position where I'm like, Blender is so scary and confusing and I don't know what I'm doing, I just remind myself that this is software that has been like very carefully tailored over such a long period of time, that I'm sort of like, yes, it'll be hard to do this for your first time, for your first couple of times, but like, you just gotta trust the process. It's sort of like playing a video game, right? When you first play a video game, it's like, it's difficult to wrap your brain around the controls and stuff. But the people who made the game didn't make it inherently difficult. Their goal wasn't to make a difficult experience. Their goal was to make the experience as intuitive as possible. And if you trust the game design, it should work out for you. And I think every time I get stuck on Blender, I try to remind myself of that. I think this is the best way I'm going to do this, right? Finger split from the wrist. Titanfall 2 runs fine with Proton, but it's prone to crashing if your internet is really unstable. What is Proton? I've never heard of Proton. I'm assuming Proton is like a software for playing Windows stuff on Linux. I don't know what else would even make sense in this context, so that must be it. Okay, I really hope I don't have to do too much like shape key junk to make this work, because I think if I have to do that, I'm going to be a little stuck for it. But so far, I'm feeling it. Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? I'm feeling it. Okay. It is a compatibility layer made by Valve. That's cool. It's honestly kind of surprising how like pro Linux Valve is. I guess maybe it's not that surprising given Gabe Newell's history with Microsoft. To the best of my understanding, Gabe Newell was an ex Microsoft employee, and he was like disgruntled with them or something. He wanted like something. He was asking for like new runtime environments or I don't know, some sort of compatibility stuff that Windows wasn't doing, so he just left. Proton is like wine, except specifically for Steam. They had the Steam OS thing. Yeah, that's true. Is Steam OS still a thing? I feel like it's dead. Is it like Chromium, where it like exists, but like nobody uses it? Sorry to anybody who uses Chromium out there, I guess. I don't know if I really feel bad about that. All Valve games are Linux native. Well, I don't think that's true. CQDK, we're just talking about computer stuff. It's just specific software that people use on Linux, which is a different operating system from Windows. Streamlabs is really out here to remind everybody today. Dare I say, that looks pretty decent. Is it gonna work? I don't know. Linux native just means that they are compiled specifically for Linux. Oh. So when you say Proton, you're referring to games not made by Valve. Sorry. When you said that, I thought you meant Steam. And I was like, there's no way everything on Steam is Linux compatible. I was like, that's not how that works. You're right. I'm wrong. I'll take an L on that one. Okay. This, I mean, I'm saying that this looks good. I don't even know if this is going to work. Yeah, CQDK, if you want to go ahead and, if you want to think about another one, another thing to spend your channel points on, I will honor it, no problem. Remember, you're only going to get one more, though. So, think about it. So far, Joe has requested Army. I suppose Joe can revoke his Army if he wants to, given that it happened as a result of, the potato. So I will extend the right to refund to you as well, Joe. We got an everybody drink, so make sure you take a nice little drink while you're working on your little muscles on your arms. Greg! Look who's here, it's Greg! Greg, how you been? Oh, you want werewolf? Oh goodness, werewolf. Werewolf is scary. I think I can do a werewolf. Color me a little crazy. I think I can do a werewolf. Greg, how's life been treating you? What are you up to? What are you working on? We're gonna say this one is a little difficult. It's got some strange angles. Yeah, so some stories about werewolves. When I was a kid, this is very embarrassing. I apologize for making everybody cringe. Currently, I'm working on some animation to import into Unreal 4. Yo! You got any examples you want to show us? I'd love to see it. So this might be borderline cringe. I apologize. When I was a child, when I was a little impressionable baby, I had an imaginary friend. Sure, we'll look out for them on Discord, no problem. When I was a little baby, I had an imaginary friend. And what I would do is I would go out onto my trampoline. I spent a lot of time on my trampoline when I was a kid. I would go out onto my trampoline and I would just like jump and like sunbathe and just like I spent so much time on that trampoline. I would just love that trampoline. And all I would do is while I was jumping, I would talk to myself. And I wasn't talking to myself, I was talking to my imaginary friend. And in my mind, as a delinquent child, my imaginary friend was in the bushes next to the trampoline. So I believed that my imaginary friend was hanging out with me while I was jumping on the trampoline, but they were out of view because obviously I wasn't allowed to see them. And when I was a real little kid, I thought my imaginary friend was like me at the age of 18. So I was like maybe 7, right? And it was like me as an 18-year-old wearing like a biker jacket and sunglasses and just whatever little kids think adults are. And then as I grew a little bit older, I guess I didn't like the idea of it being me, or it just didn't naturally make sense or whatever. So naturally, the imaginary friend transformed and turned into a big orange werewolf named Billy. So I have a very fond place in my heart for an orange werewolf named Billy. So I guess when we speed sketch today, I'll try and make at least one of the werewolves orange, and that'll be Billy for us. Billy with a Y. I should be specific. It's Billy with a Y. I don't know who Billy the hero is. So that's my very embarrassing story. I love how vulnerable these streams can be. Love embarrassing myself. Yeah, it's Billy, just like that. The heck is that? Okay. Your boy Billy, Whizzle the Wolf? What the heck is going on? Okay, shall we give it a try? Shall we try this? We got ourselves the armature. Let's do it. So let's pose this guy. Let's see what we can do. Oh, obviously I have to attach it. Okay, attaching an armature. I always forget how to do this. What I want to do, go to the armature. Go to the armature. How do we want to do this? You grab the armature. That was not cringe. That was a sweet story. I mean, it's a little cringe. I'm not like cringing. I'm not upset about it. Applying an armature. Just going to give this a quick little Google. In object mode, right-click the model, then right-click the armature with Shift. Press Control P, choose the automatic weights. Okay, so we want hand, and then we want armature. This is gonna be a little difficult to do. There we go. You got access to some vintage cartoons. Is that a vintage cartoon? Armature deform with automatic weights. Okay, here we go. Moment of truth. Moment of truth. Oh! Oh, we're here! Oh, we're here. Cool. Cool. Okay, so let's try... Yes! We're here! Cool, so we got ourselves a nice working arm. Cool. Okay, so looking at this, there's just a couple of things I want to fix. I learned how to move an arm, you know. Let's be honest, most things we do as kids is cringe. Yeah, for sure. I did a lot of cringy stuff. Junie is busy today. Junie, regular of the chat. If Junie was here right now, I would ask Junie to share some cringe childhood stories that we had together. Because there were a lot. There's a lot of weird stuff we did. I think kids, you know, when you're just curious, you just find the weirdest things to like occupy yourself with. Also, that does not look very good. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to try and deform this a little bit. You know what? I don't hate that. That's fine. Should you be editing a mesh after you've done the armature? Probably not. Okay, so you want some animations. Yes, let's do some animations. What I want to do... I want to animate this thing grabbing. So let's hit a 0. Let's hit up 0 on this thing. Let's go ahead and bend him up. Whoa, nope. Let's grab the whole thing and bend it up. And I'm going to push the wrist up on here. So we're going to grab the armature. We're going to go into pose mode. And for our 0... That's what I like to see right there. That looks so good. So we don't want that. We want this. And I want it maybe a little bit that way. Hold on. It got messed up somehow. Let's do some animations. Okay, so we got that, right? So that's a hand. Looking up, reaching out to you a little bit. I think it might be in our best interest to grab the armature and also pose this guy up just a little bit. Grab the whole thing, pose it up. Pose you down just a little bit. Grab the whole thing, pose it up. That looks all right to me. It's a little squished here, but you'll never see this. Is it quiet? You can't hear anything anymore? Did I go quiet? Okay, so we got this. What do I want to be doing? I want to grab the armature. I want to grab the pose. Oh, the chat is silent? That's fine. Everyone's watching with anticipation to watch me mess up. All's well. Okay, so armature, we're going to go to... what's the best way to do this? If I go into pose, insert keyframe. Ooh, I have trouble with this. Should I do whole character? I'm assuming I should do whole character. Let's do whole character. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna call it right here. For this character, yes. Otherwise, you would do only bones selected. Perfect. Understood. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna grab... Yes. Perfect. I understand. We're gonna push these guys up. These guys up. These guys down. Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm dumb. Hold on. Let's go to 20. Pose up. Pose down. Grab the whole thing and extend it forward a little bit. Basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to like get the hand as extended as possible. So that should be insert keyframe whole character. So between this, it should be, yep. So just a nice little extension of the hand. I might even take this and push it a little bit further back. Let's grab this real quick. Whole thing, bring it back a little bit more. Grab you. We're going to squish everything down just a little bit to really sell the idea that it's pushing forward. Okay. Oh, that looks a little artificial. Okay. Let's do the rest of it before we focus on the little details. Let's stick to it. So, he comes forward, and his fingers are going to come up. I want to sleep, not so I will see Billy the werewolf when I wake up. You're fine. You go to bed, man. It's pretty late where you are. I'm going to push these guys up just a little bit. And these guys can come down, and I'm going to do specific edits on each one. I mean, you do whatever you need, man. I'm not telling you what to do. You live your best life. We'll do it like that, and like this, and a little bit like that, and push you forward a little bit. Okay, what does that end up looking like? Insert keyframe, whole body. Here we go. I kind of really want to like extend it, like make it look kind of elastic. So I might do a little bit of like squash and stretch with this thing. Maybe on the back of the body. I'm not sure yet. You can stretch bones, right? There's no harm in stretching bones. Would that be a terrible idea? We'll see. We'll see. We'll get there when we get there. Let me try. I got you. Let's try extending this. What happens? Good night. Take it easy. Ooh. That is horrific. Oh no. Okay, so that is pretty cool. Okay, now let's get into it. Let's dig. So we're at 20. Comes forward. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of rotating. and set the whole body right here. Now I want to grab. So we're going to grab on 30. I think I'm going to increase all of the animations of this just a little bit. So we'll get there in just a sec. Bring it back just a little bit. And here's what we're going to do. My brain is not tailored to think like this, but I think I can make it work. So we're going to do our best to grab. Okay, so if I do this right, it should look pretty compelling. No, we want to do this one sideways like that. And now you can come down and grab. Is this gonna work? This looks kind of cool. Okay, so I'm gonna push you down. Rotate you around that way. And just tuck you in a little bit. Let's grab that whole thing, insert keyframe whole character, and let's give it a shot. Oh, it looks a little not good. Okay, I gotta raise the fingers up. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen, I can tell you that. So we want each of these guys to come up a little bit. Just a little bit. Just enough to sell the idea for us. And then we should be good to go. Okay, so I'm gonna pop you down and forward. Maybe this part shouldn't be so far out. Like that. This already looks a little wrong. Okay, I see what's wrong. We're gonna want, oh gosh. Armature pose. Junie, we were just talking about you. I was literally just talking about you, Junie. How strange for the timing to work out like this. Yeah, I was saying good things. Do you have any cringe stories from our past? Also, do you remember Billy the Werewolf? Was that a thing when we were friends? Or was that before? Because I told everybody about Billy the Werewolf. That looks usable. It's a little bizarro looking. That one needs to be fixed. Rings a bell, but yeah, I think I might have been a little younger than before we were hanging out for that one. Cringe stories. Yeah, if you got them, let's hear them. If anybody in my life has cringe stories about me, it's gotta be you. There we go. That's it. So now we're gonna go back to pose mode, grab all the bones, whole character, and let's see this thing. Oh yes. So in elementary school, we had a friend group, and Junie, it was definitely you. Junie decided to assign everybody an Inuyasha character to be. So everybody in the group got to be one. I was Inuyasha. Junie was Shippo. And the other people in the group got assigned other stuff. It was, you know, just kind of the thing that kids do, I think, to some degree. You know what I want? I want to fix... I want to fix this. This part right here needs to be fixed up just a little bit. I want to grab... No. How am I going to do this? Can you not pose just a single... Can you not pose just a single little piece? You can't. Oh, no. I was hoping not to stretch it as crazy as this. We were just normal, run-of-the-mill, dweeby kids. For sure. I sort of love that I didn't watch anime at the time that we were, like, doing all this stuff. Okay, so I'm going to grab this 30. Just the 30. Get out of here. We're going to post you right there. Why did that not make any difference? What? Okay, so I got all the bones selected. I want to grab all of 30, copy, paste. Cool. Now I can make a little tiny micro edit with this. So 45, we're going to grab you, and we're going to tilt it down, and then we should have a super bad looking animation. So we'll pop this finger up just a little bit. We're gonna return back to normal slightly. Just ever so slightly come back. Inuyasha, a surprisingly bloody and violent anime for elementary schoolers. Honestly? I still kind of think Inuyasha's brother, Fluffy, is like one of the more interesting characters ever made. I feel really compelled towards Fluffy. I can very barely remember any of that show, but I think that is definitely the character that I identify with the most. Just kind of like a... Just kind of a mean little dude that, you know, as I assume, probably had, like, good motives for what he was doing. Whoa, I broke the finger. Hold on, let's not break any fingers here. And we're going to go ahead and insert and hit whole character. And I think this is that kind of thing that I'm going to sit and work on for like a really long time. Yeah, we're going to have to smooth this animation out a little bit. But, yeah, I don't know. There's something missing here. Something's wrong. Something's really weird here. The auto weight paints are not too kind. I don't hate it. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen in the world. I think the animation is what really needs the help. I just have trouble, like, doing it. I would love to, like, get, like, a motion kit or something and just go for it. Do mocapping instead of doing it like this, but it'll have to do for the time being. So, really, you're going to see it at this angle. So what I think I want to be doing, you know what? Let's go back to pose. This pose right here is bad. Let's get rid of this. The one I just made is pretty bad. Instead, I want to grab 30, and we want to copy it at the 45. And all I really want to do is pull it back and, like, lower the squash on it. I can edit it now? What? I was trying to do this earlier. It's too uniform? Yeah, for sure. I think that's definitely a big part of it. What the heck? Suddenly, I am able to edit all of this. Okay, well, this is going to be difficult. This is going to be a little challenging here for a moment. So if I grab the whole thing and we save whole character, and I'm going to grab all of these guys again, and I'm going to shrink them just a little bit. This is going to be a little mismatched. I'm going to have to sit and fix this, but I think that's all right. And now I'll grab the whole thing, and we'll do whole character, and now I'm going to grab these guys and delete. Okay, that works. I think the big problem with this is that there's just not enough steps along the way. Like, I'm interpolating a lot between each keyframe. It's not like it's not, you know, handmade to some degree at this point. I want this one. This one needs to be bent down. So he's coming back, and he's gonna like tuck into his chest and then do it again. So that's the motion. So let's start here and fix it like that, and let's see what that does. Okay, so we want it to tuck even more into the chest. So we want you to be less long. Save that. That's a little closer to what we want. The fingers obviously need some work. So I'm going to add one more keyframe right at the end, where it's going to curl really far in. He's going to curl super far in, but he's going to release the fingers. And then we'll call it from there. Again, I think this is the kind of thing that I'm going to have to sit and like tinker with and probably watch tutorials to really kind of figure it out. For the time being, I just want it to like look all right. I just want it to be like something that I can sit and wrap my brain around while I'm chugging away. So we're going to just kind of go easy on ourselves. We're not going to think too hard about it. Cool. I can grab everything. I can insert keyframes for the whole character. And now we can say, how does this look? Could use some work. Let's go ahead and do 120 instead. I'm going to grab the whole thing, pose them up, and we'll focus on doing the rest of this stuff a little bit later. So let's speed up just the beginning of this a little bit. That is very slow. I'm going to lower it to 90. 90, I think, is going to be our limit. So we'll say right about there. And this is going to be 15, and this is going to be 30. The rest of them can be slow. You're going to be 90. And we're going to go for it. That's much better. It needs work. It doesn't look good. Hands off. I understand. I'm here. We're groovy. That looks pretty good. It needs work. I'm gonna give it a nice 4 out of 10 right now. Let's go ahead and look at it head on. It doesn't swipe enough. It needs more of a swipe. So if I grab you and we go back to our armature, I'm going to do one more thing and I'm going to call it for the day. You chucked your progress onto Discord? That's awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and check that out right around like 4:20-ish. So we're going to show off your work right before we do the speed sketch today. So we're going to do that. I believe that should look good. Still working on timings. It's a little janky. I mean, just look at what we're looking at right now. The fingers should go more apart before the grabbing motion. That's a good idea. I don't like the way the hand, like, crumbles. Okay, tell you what. We've messed up. This is the one. Greg has redeemed that everybody take a nice little drink. Let's take a nice little drink. All right, so we want the fingers to really come in and, like, rake it. And you want me to spread the fingers before grabbing. So we will do that. I'm actually going to add a keyframe just for the fingers. So we're going to do this. We're going to rotate it like that. If I insert that as a keyframe, what is this going to look like? Okay, so we gotta fix the one right after it, and we're gonna spread the fingers. So we want the whole thing, and we want to come here, and now we want to grab that and make sure that that also rotates with it. So if I grab all of these and squish them in just a little bit more, I've totally messed up my sequence. I know I'm, like, missing things. I've not done a great job of this. Oh! 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 Oh, it looks good! Oh, it looks good. The timings are so off, and obviously those fingers need some help. That's not terrible. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna grab you guys. And I'm going to scooch you... Scooch you like that. There we go. There's one down. Here is one. Oh, it looks kind of like the meme of the smiley face that, like, grabs for you. That's sort of like my biggest inspiration right now, honestly, as sad as that is. Dare I say this is it. That thumb, or that pinky needs some work, but everything else, not half bad. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and insert it. It looks a little jank from my perspective right now, but I thought that about the last one and then it worked out, so. Ooh. 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 She needs some work, but, like, dude, we're here. Yeah, I can send it to you. I don't mind that at all. You're welcome to. I will post this file in Blender, no problem. Or Blender, wow, in Discord. Blender is the application we're using. If you would like to try, that's perfectly okay with me. I don't mind at all. I'm not sure if I will use it for my final result, but I'd love to see what you come up with. It might influence what I do. So, not a problem. I appreciate the willingness to cooperate. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and color him. And then I'm going to focus on the scene. Like the scene that we're setting for this guy. I gotta say, I'm a big fan of that palm. That palm looks so good. Okay, so I think I cheated, by the way. I apologize to everyone. I think I cheated. And already made... Yep, I already made a map for this guy. It could use a bit of work, though. That's for sure. There he is. So here's what we're going to want. We're going to want to lower this down just a little bit. And we have some weird things where it's like clinging and making multiple paths because we have paths that are crossing each other. I don't love that. If we look at this dead on, even if we look at it like this, oh, it doesn't help us at all. I mean, it looks pretty good there. That's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but it could be better. So let's make it a little bit better. So if the fingers touch, they go a little bit nutty. So that's a good inspiration for us to not let the fingers touch. So I think I'm going to add a mix RGB. One of these has to be black. It will be that one. And this one, we're going to make a nice, cool, weird little color. So, I've done this with ambient occlusion. How this is going to transfer over to Unreal is beyond me. I have no clue. We'll get there when we get there. So, first things first, I'm going to want to think about what sort of texture do I want for this guy. I'm like debating if I put a bump on it. I'm thinking a bump is maybe the worst idea I could have. The only realistic bump I could think to add to this thing is like warts. And like, that's not what I'm going for. It's a ghost hand. Why would it have warts? I guess it is kind of diseased looking. So let's go ahead and say that what we want is more of maybe like a magic texture. And I'm going to throw in a color ramp. And we're going to go between two different colors. Which colors do we want? We want that and maybe like a orangey. I might add some white to that orange. Oh. Hold on. I've goofed it. We want this to be our color. There we go. There we go. If we lower that scale down quite a bit, get really strong on the difference between the orange and the purple, and we take the orange and make it lighter. How do we feel about that? Is that intimidating? I don't know if that's intimidating. Let's try a yellow real quick. Color me not sold. Color me not sold on this thing. I think it might look better with a blue, and we're going to lean on the purple a little bit more. Or a green. What is everyone thinking? What do we think is best? So far, I think the green and purple is the most interesting, if not a little cliche. It looks a little too on the nose. Or should we just do all purple? Maybe I'm going to stick with all purple. We're going to stick with all purple. Okay. So that is our hand. For the time being, I will sit and work on this later. This is going to be a big project, I think, for a little while now. I'm probably going to simplify the hand. I'm going to retopo, and I might remove some of the muscles in the process, but that's going to sit and take me like hours. So I'm going to put on like a podcast and do that. That's not for right now. So the focus for right now is the scene. So let's set the scene. We can get rid of the Wallmaster. Well, goodbye, Wallmaster. What is our scene going to be? Maybe add veins? I'm not sure how I feel about veins. If it isn't Mr. Six in the flesh. Mr. Six over here, hanging out. Mr. Six, check out the animation. We're still working on it. This is literally my second animation in Blender. And blood? I don't know what you're talking about. No, I'm not adding veins and blood. No way. I don't want to add veins because I want this thing to feel a little bit ethereal. It should not look like a person. I know I did some like personification on this thing, but it should look like Bizarro. There's part of me that wants to sort of turn it into a spiked hand, which I might do eventually. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm learning. Right? This is a learning experience more than anything else. Like a hand from hell? Oh, let me tell you. Let me tell you about the hand from hell. I love this little elbow. The elbow is like so good looking at the right angle. So if I take this guy and scale him out, and I take the armature and I add a... Oh, you can't. Hold on. Grab this armature. Copy. Hello? I want all of this. I want to flip it. Hold on, let's make a few of them first before I start flipping and doing stuff. So that's one armature. This is going to be the next one. Kind of reminds you of God of War 2. Is there a part in God of War 2 where this happens? I don't think I remember much from God of War 2. Okay, so that is that. And if we do this, if we play our cards right... Whoa! There we go. Let's do... You know, I'll stick with 5. 5 is good. When Kratos is escaping from the Greek hell. That sounds familiar, but I can't place my hand on it, honestly. Okay, so is there a way to transform... How do I... There's not a flip. Is there? Mirror. There it is. There it is. Okay, cool. So let's hit up the mirror on a couple of these guys. This guy can be mirrored on local X. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Okay, let's just do one at a time. Local Y. Local Y. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh, it doesn't work. how would I go about mirroring this? This is going to be a challenge. You know what? For the time being, I'm not going to think about it. We got some hands coming out. This looks like a cheap little like music video right here. This looks awful. Cool. I love it. Okay, so what we want to do now is I want to pop online. I'm going to send you guys over to Firefox real quick. We're going to check out a train tunnel. Let's make ourselves a little train tunnel. So when I picture a train tunnel, that's the one. That's exactly what I want. Maybe even that. That's probably exactly what we're looking for. So let's go ahead and make this. All right, Mr. Six has recommended that everybody take a nice little drink. Oh, you guys keep me healthy today. It's been a lot of water. Okay, so let's make ourselves a little train tunnel to put these guys in. I'm going to go ahead and pop them on over here. Everyone says local Y, but no one says local how. How dare you? How dare you? So what we're going to want for this is a cylinder on its y-axis, made big. I might subdivide it as I punch my mic. Before we subdivide, let's edit it real quick. Actually, you know what? This part doesn't matter too much. Let's grab all of the bottom of this guy. Like that. And pull him down just a little bit. There we go. That should be just about right. I can bring it up a little bit. And let's go for it. So I'm going to inset a hole. In the hole, we're going to get as close to that conventional size as we can. The words that I'm saying have no meaning. I don't know why I'm saying them. Don't think too hard about them. That'll do, and we will bridge. Cool. So I'm going to send, you know, the cylinder back forever, basically. Oh, no. Oh, no. We've goofed it. What's the woe for? What happened on the woe there? Unlimited cylinder? Yeah. You guys don't know about the unlimited cylinder technique? It's all the rage. Okay, so now I'm kind of like, what should I be doing? Can't say I am familiar. You know, I thought you guys were with it. I thought you guys got it. Do I want to just put a square top on this? I think I do want to just put a square top on it. You think what I'm doing and it could be kind of great? What do you mean by that? Explain your analysis for us, Mr. Six. Okay, yeah, I think we're gonna have to do it like this. If Simo were here, Simo is here. If Simo were here, he would want me to use a mirror modifier, but I'm way too lazy. Okay, there we go. There's one. There's two. The bottom of this thing literally does not matter. All of you guys still using the limited cylinder? Honestly, Beryl, you tell him. Let me see. Putting the hands in an angle that makes it look natural, I guess. Yeah. I'm making them come out of the darkness of the tunnel. think theoretically I can just remove all of this. This is going to be a big mistake. I can remove... Oh, that worked. I can do that. And I can do all of that. And we can delete those. And if I... Oh, I want to do the same thing here. Your ticket, please. This is not a train that you want to get stuck on, that's for sure. Yeah, sometimes you're too lazy to be lazy. The problem that I have with mirror modifiers, and this is just a stupid little problem. This is not real. Anybody who's trying to take legitimate advice here, do not follow this advice. My problem with mirror modifiers is I struggle with getting the center line correct. I'm always struggling with that center of a mirror modifier. I know it auto merges correctly, but I'm always like messing with things and doing proportions, and it doesn't want to connect properly. Okay, so now Mr. Six, what are you talking about? I've always been modeling the train thing. Okay, so we're gonna want to scale 0Z and push this guy up. What is happening here? If I delete those... Delete that. Oh no, I want to delete this inner... Yes, just delete that. Made a real problem of this. I don't even understand how this happened. I thought I did it pretty well. You're ignorant in 3D? What do you mean? What's your main thing that you work in? I thought you were a 3D guy. Oh, it's because it connected to that, but I didn't do it properly. Guys, my brain cannot handle this right now. Mr. Six, what do you do? Have I forgotten what you do? I thought for sure you were a Blender guy. What's your thing? Okay, so we can do that. Just a random guy from Twitch. That's fine. I ain't got a problem with random people from Twitch. You know what? We're just gonna have to sit and reconnect all this. My bad. I don't know what ended up happening here. Mr. Six, you're not from Fun Pro Gamer or somebody like that, right? I know Fun Pro Gamer brought a bunch of random people to the stream, which is very, very awesome of fun. Honestly, if I had more free time in my life, I would spend a lot more time in Fun's Twitch chat. Everyone should go hang out with Fun Pro Gamer. We're gonna want just that one, yes. There we go. And that should be just about good enough. Oh, that's right. Were you the person who jumped into chat and you're like, you get 15 minutes to prove if you're interesting or not? Somebody did that recently, and I thought that was just kind of a move. Just kind of a weird move to do to somebody. Okay, so we got a tunnel, and I don't have a ton of time. Is this the worst topology you've ever seen? Yeah, I would say. This is pretty bad looking. We'll do it like that. Nice tip, though. It was just a weird, like, flex. I'm assuming the person has not come back. If they have, they've been very quiet. I do that, I just don't announce it? Yeah, I mean, that's how it should be. You shouldn't say that to people. Oh, I'm starting to really struggle with this. I've really shot myself in the foot on this one. I think we go back to the cylinder. You know what? I apologize for everything. Yep, I apologize for everything. Let's go ahead and just do this one more time. We're going to put the cylinder in. I'm going to give it way more geometry. We're going to rotate it by 90. We're going to make it big. And this guy is going to get edited correctly. Just like that. Made way bigger. It's like you talking to your parents. I get that. I feel like I did a lot of that in college. I feel like college was a real time where I was just like, sorry I'm alive. We're going to do that. And then I'm going to do one more. That's pretty good looking. This I can live with. And then we're going to bridge those. Okay. It looks like a Dyson Airblade. You're in college, so it makes sense. Yeah, I mean, that's just what you do when you're in college. You're like, hey, parents, I'm sorry. I'm a dummy. My parents were cool about it. You know what? That can work for me. I'm going to grab the whole thing and scale it down just a little bit. Like that. And then we're going to grab just the outer part and scale out like that. And that will be the part that goes into the mountain or whatever is going to end up behind here. This hits close to home. Good. As it should. That's fine. It's okay to have a little bit of feelings here and there. So I'm going to go ahead and shade smooth. And I'm going to grab this guy and apply scale. We're going to hide our armatures. Is there a random cylinder in here? What is this? Get rid of that. Okay, so I have myself a nice little beginning of a tunnel. We're going to go ahead and just take this moment to bevel just the ends of it with a 6. The geometry on this portion of the game is going to be pretty small. So I'm sort of okay with going a little bit nuttier on it. It doesn't bother me too much if we end up with some extra geometry. It's not going to matter. So let's not stress it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bevel. Ever so slightly with maybe like a 4. Cool. Something that's going to be very helpful, I think, and I should be doing this the whole time, is making our ground plane. So let's go ahead and make the ground real quick. We'll say that's the ground right there. That should help us visualize what we're doing a little bit better. Okay, so what next? I'm going to put in here a brick pattern. We'll worry about that later. Next up, we want some railroads. Let's make some railroads. And I have 30 minutes to make railroads, and then we'll call it. I'm going to go ahead and make a new collection called Dark Tunnel. All of our armatures are going to go in there, as well as this guy, which is actually going to be called the Dark Tunnel. Wait, the hands are not attached to the armatures? The heck? You're gonna be called ground. You're gonna be called tunnel, I guess? I don't love that. That's weird. Once I threw the hands in here, the hands went into the armatures. That seems a little strange to me. I'm not going to think too hard about that. That's going to freak me out if I keep thinking about it. So we're done there. That's done. Next up, what are we working on? We want... Okay, so something I'm not going to do today because I don't have the time for it, but I definitely need to do, is there's going to be a canoe right here. It's very crucial that there's a canoe here. I know that seems strange, but that's just the way of things. So I'm going to go ahead and just make a little canoe prototype right there. There he is. So that is a canoe template. That's probably a good way to say that. Last but not least, I said I was going to do train tracks, but I kind of want to wait on the train tracks. Instead, I think it might be in our best interest to place some fencing, because there's going to be a fence right here. Yeah, let's do that. Let's make some fences. Okay, so I'm going to make myself a cylinder of 13? No. 26. We're going to pop it back, make it real big, make it real short. And we got ourselves a nice little fence. Not half bad. So I'm going to go ahead and pop the top and the bottom of this thing off. Just like that. And we're going to make this fence a little bit irregular looking. So the goal is to mangle it so it doesn't look so, so uniform. So my resolution for this should probably be a little bit higher now that I'm looking at it. We'll say that's probably all right. That looks all right to me. I kind of like all of that being there, so we'll just kind of finish off the last little bit of this, getting real close to the gate, and we're done. Fence done. Okay, so I gotta question myself, is this fence a... Oh man, maybe I want the canoe to be outside the fence so people can't like clip through it or something. Let's do that. You're gonna be right there. Okay, so this fence, we want to make ourselves a nice little fence. How are we gonna do that? Ideally, you're gonna want to use a double wave metallic texture. So let's give that a shot. Hello. I'm going to actively get rid of as many elements as I can handle so we don't have to look at them. And let's hit it. So we got a fence. Oh man, there's a right way to make a fence and a wrong way to make a fence. And I think I'm going to do the wrong way. I think I have to do the wrong way. Also, let's get rid of that tunnel for just a second and get rid of each of these. Just delete. And you. And we're there. Perfect. Okay, so the way I would make a fence, in my mind, is we would use two wave textures being put into one another. And I'll use probably an object or a UV for both of them. And that should do it. So X, Y, using mix RGB. Plug in right there, plug U in there, plug U in there, and I actually don't want the mix RGB. I want it to be the alpha. There we go. Can alpha quantify? I think it's going to show up as black. This isn't going to work, is it? Oh, yep. You can see it just ever so slightly. Okay, so we want perfect roughness. Oh, this is gonna be bizarro land. Hold on. Tell you what, let's get rid of the ground. I just want to see the fence for the time being. And it's looking like UV's got to be the correct thing for us. There we go. That is that. Constant and constant. And now we're going to grab the white and give the white a position of 0.9. And give the black a position of 0.9. Nope, I meant the white. 0.9. There we go. Scale it up super nicely. Scale the Y up like a ton. And we're going to tilt them. Using a map. Plug the map into both of these guys. And all I need to do is rotate it by 45, which is going to be a little hard for me to wrap my brain around. Hold on. There we go. So instead of that, do we want 30? My brain was not made for processing this. Oh gosh, my brain is not made for processing this. What is happening? There we go. Okay, so you're 40, you're 30, you're 30. Oh gosh, oh gosh. The math portion is very challenging. Okay, so we're gonna say that looks about right. How on earth am I gonna do this? If it's 40, if it's 60, why would one of them be sideways and one of them be straight? This is the part that makes literally no sense. It's got to be the UVs, right? Normal might actually be a pretty good choice for us. Nope, never mind. Normal's not a good choice for us. It has to be UVs. I have no other choice. It's literally, it has to be UVs. This is a challenge. 45, 45, 90. My brain cannot process what's happening. I mean, we can make the texture fine enough. It's the getting there that's tough. Let's go ahead and add just a little texture to this just to make it feel a little bit more authentic. So that way when we're working on it, we can see a little bit more if it's going to be believable or not. Spec is going to be 0.1, and then we should be good to just start tinkering with these guys. Let's start with like a 10. No, let's start with like 100 and 100. They should be even, right? Yeah, so they're even. I'm starting to think, okay, here's a new idea. What if each map is separate? So what if this one Okay, got it. We're here. We're here. I'm going to use 2 X's, and 1 X is just going to be opposite the other. So we're going to use 2 Y's, is what I meant by that. 2 Y's, one of them is opposite the other. So negative 90, negative 45, negative 45. What? Why does that work? What? Does the 90 not matter? The 90 does matter. I mean, we got it. We're here. Okay, so I'm going to make them a lot thinner, and we're going to want to scale one of these guys closer together. 2 of these guys closer together. So let's say 2 and 2. 5 and 5. We've done it. Oh, we've done it. Oh, we've done it. Oh, we've done it. I can't believe we've done it. I had no hope. Oh, we've done it. Cool. Somehow, it all worked out in the end. Yeah, I just had to freak out for a little bit. I just went into like a little bit of a mind chamber for a while. But we're back. Also, as a quick reminder to everybody, we are going to be doing speed sketches here in just a moment. Mom, get the camera. We did it. Oh, absolutely. You know, Mom's always here for us. I'm going to be doing a speed sketch here in just a second. So far, I have 2 recommendations. An army of werewolves. If anybody would like to add a modifier to that, please use your channel points. You get 1 word to modify it. Some standouts that we've had in the past is we can make them wear a hat. We can give them tentacles. We can do all sorts of little things to them. Foam fingers. That's a real tough one. That's a real tough one there, Greg. Joe, you are allowed 1 swap. So it's currently werewolf, foam finger, and what would you like? We have machine guns. I'm only accepting 1 word. Extra fluffy. I'm just going to make fluffy. So we got machine gun, werewolf, fluffy, foam finger. This is gonna be Bizarro land. Okay, so let's do 30 and 30, and I think I'm gonna call it on the fence here. I think that fence actually looks super good. I gotta put the poles up. We gotta connect the fence into little poles. But honestly, that is it. It just took me a sec to get there. Right, so if you look... Yeah, it's not going to process. Oh, it does process them. Hey! There you go. Look at that. Look how perfect that looks. Cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and save this. And I think I am just going to give a little bit of an early start on the speed sketch, because otherwise I'm going to be here all day. So this is going to be a stretch. Everybody take a stretch. That's a stretch. And then it is also going to be the end of the first part of the recording. For anybody watching on YouTube, feel free to give me a follow. Feel free to come to the Discord. Feel free to do whatever you please. Otherwise, I will see you next time.